Hey there, youth pastors. Paul Turner here from the discipleproject.net and your host of Office Hours right here on YouTube, where I answer youth pastor questions. Let me ask you a question. Do you have a student that's making waves in your youth ministry that's causing other students to leave? Would you like to know how to turn a discipline problem into a discipleship moment? That's what today's video is about. Stick around to the end where I offer you a free tool that will not only help you trim down behavior problems in your youth ministry, but could galvanize your youth group around a mission to become the kind of youth group that welcomes the hurting and broken. Let's get into it. And today's first question is, how do you deal with that one student that's driving away other students? Well, I'll say this. It's a good question because I know that, these things are always sticky. These are sticky questions because you're not just dealing with students. You're dealing with parents. You're dealing with possibly political issues, depending who that one child is related to. And so when you're having to look at this, I think you have to look at it from a couple of different angles. And not having any context. I don't know who the student is or as to why people are leaving. I don't know what it is. It could be a behavior issue. And if it's a behavior issue where the one student is either so rambunctious, disrespectful, causing chaos, and doesn't want to listen and is there to make trouble, then the one student you have to deal with, because you can't lose the whole group for the sake of the one, unless, and I'll get to this in a second, but you can't lose the whole group for the one. If it does, there's another part of that too. Is the student a part of your church? Is the student there because they came from an outreach, or they're from down the block or something like that, and they're not related to anybody in the church, and they're just there to, like I said, cause trouble or be a problem. Well, it's a little bit easier to handle in the sense of saying, look, every discipline problem is a discipleship moment. Okay? Let me say that again. Every discipline problem is a discipleship moment. Now, if this young man, the other, dynamic of this is, does the young man know Christ or not know Christ? And so if this young man or woman who is the problem, if they don't know Christ, well, it's a great opportunity to introduce them to Jesus. And if they don't want Jesus, then say, hey, listen, man, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you checking out the group. I like you. You're a good person. But you're causing some chaos. It's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna be welcome here, because we're trying to do a thing here. We're trying to disciple young people who want to follow Jesus. And if you are so desperate not to follow Jesus, then maybe being in this youth group right now is not for you. It's not where you want to be, because it's too much for you, or you don't understand the dynamics of what we're trying to do. And listen, it's not your fault. You're not used to church. You're not used to being in this type of environment. You're not used to being here. And so I get that. So maybe take some time off and then come back when you're ready, because I'll always save you a seat. That would be my speech in that regard to somebody who is in a group whom students are what I want to say, they're pushing back from, because they don't like the fact that this person is causing chaos, because they just don't understand the program. They're not saved, and those things. Now, that being said, I would, and if it's, once again, it's not to justify the actions or anything like that, but it's a good opportunity to educate people, students in your youth group, that there'll always be people coming into the youth group who don't know Jesus, and that this is not a club. This is not a private club that people join. This is as they say, it's not a club, for the well. It's a hospital for the sick, and we have to. Each of us take on the roles of, not necessarily doctors or nurses, but at least interns who are trying to help those who are trying to find hope in their lives. And so my caveat then would be, are these students who are leaving because of the one student, are they leaving because, once again, if it's behavioral and it's a risk or a danger to people, 100%. Gotta take care of that. You can't have that be in your group. If the reason students are leaving are because they simply don't want to associate with a student because they don't like them, because they think they don't fit quite well, they're not a behavior issue, those types of things, then once again, there's some education that has to happen there. Is that these, I would have conversations with those students to find out why they're going, why they're leaving. Is it because they don't feel safe? Is it because, and allow them to share with me those things. So I'm trying to, I would try to get both sides of the story. I had a situation one time for my youth group where there was a thing with two young ladies. They didn't like each other. And I asked one of the young ladies who had a problem, I said, would you be willing to sit down with me and the other young lady and work it out? Well, the one young lady said, no, I don't want to do that. I want you to tell this girl to leave or get out. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to tell her to do that. She says, well, then I'm going to have to leave. I went, okay. I said, I completely understand that. I totally understand why you want to do that. I just think it's immature. I think it's, and this is somebody I knew fairly well, somebody I felt I could talk plainly with, and did so. And so if I find that students are leaving because of their immaturity, not necessarily the person that's there, but because of their immaturity, then I'm going to have a different take on it. And I'm going to have to talk to parents and talk to other people. And you want to keep the group as cohesive as possible. You want to do that, but people are going to people. So no matter which way you look at it, it is an opportunity for discipleship. But these things are going to happen, and you have to be able to look at it from both sides, and then you have to make the right choice. You have to, based on the information that you have. I'd like to offer you a free resource called the Youth Pastor's Guide to Creating a Life-Giving Code of Conduct. This resource gives you the tools to create a code of conduct that will make your youth group both safer and more welcoming and equips you to handle those sticky situations. Sign up for my newsletter down below and the resource is all yours. And then every week you're going to get videos, you're going to get articles and games and lessons and more. And if you're new here, don't forget to go ahead and click that subscribe button and you'll get videos like this in your inbox on a regular basis. And if you really like the video, well, go ahead and click that thumbs up button. That tells me you like the video and you want more of them. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.